This is the third video that I'm making of recordings, as a recording of some emails of scanned personal possessions. That I did at the downtown Ann Arbor Public Library. And that strange girl that was in the first video, she's still sitting near me where she was and using her electronic laptop device, and so I'm still experiencing the same hack, and I'm experiencing also some brain fog. You know, all this I'm accustomed to here in Ann Arbor, Michigan, when it comes to these kind of circumstances, exposing some type of truth that might be incriminating. So this is that should be the second SD card that I told you about that I have by the same manufacturer. I believe it's that's my smartphone that I'm using right now to make this recording with the battery in it. This is the battery by itself. I had to make I think 10 email scanner files in order to get everything. Also, some evidence of, hack attempt in making this video right now is the slowed reaction. This is not normally this slow when it comes to my emails. So the phone is obviously trying to function while receiving some type of radio frequency radiation interference, probably from her device. So I wouldn't have any problems until she sat down next to me, and those are my earphones. Apparently there was some substance inside of them. People were warning me about that. So this is the reason why I made scanner files of all of my possessions, just to see if it was true, like to the bottom of this. So that's some paper that I put in there, coffee cup holder paper, because I had to unwrap the battery, with the plastic cover that it came with, so I can get an idea of the condition of that battery. So, these are my cords. All of this has been in the custody of the Washington County Sheriff, so I believe that they may have had something to do with altering my property with, some kind of substance that maybe they use. It's electromagnetic substance that they can use or help Ann Arbor Police and the University of Michigan Police to keep track of my whereabouts and also to send remote, hack commands to my device, as well as interrupt my use of the internet. But it's just part of the overall, effort, to keep me from uploading videos of proof of the extreme radiation hazards that I've been exposed to here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. So, this is the keyboard in a previous video that was used to injure me when I was at the Delana Shelter Center here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And it appears as though some type of energy beam or something, like maybe infrared laser, or I don't know what, came from upstairs and hit this, keyboard device that was sitting on my lap, and I think it's responsible for the hematoma that I've been diagnosed with and bleeding in my lower intestine, as well as my my urine. So that's a rock that I found that's near where I was sleeping, a little pebble. I would suspect that it was plutonium or cobalt, radioactive cobalt. So it's giving off some radiation signature there on the regular scanner. This is another rock that I found. I was near where I sleep, in my sleeping bag at Turtle Island Park, across from the back of the University of Michigan Hospital, the emergency room. Looks like that's giving off some radiation on a regular scanner. I became suspicious of all this, getting readings from my smart device scanners, and so I just thought to take it to we'll get some subjective proof from a commercial grade scanner. This is underarm deodorant that they give us when we're in the Washtenaw County Jail. I would suspect that while I was in my cell a number of times, even when I was on protective custody and left in my cell for 23 hours a day for months at a time, that this might have something to do with the harm that I endured while I was in that cell. So as you can see, it's giving off radiation signature. It was made of a strange substance. I don't remember right now exactly, but I got rid of it because I thought that it was drawing harmful radiation to me here while I was walking throughout Ann Arbor, Michigan, as well as other items in my property. Right. Yeah, excuse me, I'm experiencing brain fog right now, and so I may have lost count of I think I might have lost count here. Even though I have a proven IQ of 178, 150 to 178 range, I'm experiencing, neurology symptoms from all of this harmful radiation exposure here in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and I do believe it's deliberate. These were deliberate attempts to, I think, mostly to discourage me from revealing, what my curious mind has discovered and continues to discover, as a more significant and harmful and hazardous threat to the community as a whole, not just to myself as a targeted individual here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. These are some antibiotics that were prescribed to me. I believe they were prescribed to me by my physician. Her name is Alyssa Young. She is a doctor at University of Michigan Family Medicine. She's also a professor at the School of Medicine here at the University of Michigan. I kept these for 2 years. They were prescribed to me when I was sick and suffering from radiation poisoning, living with another scientist at for the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, at the Kellogg's Eye Institute. His name was researcher Alexander Raskin. He's a Russian Jew from Jerusalem as well as Russia. And so this antibiotic is called clindamycin. It's very strong, very powerful. I believe, and when I was taking it, I was only getting sicker the more I took it. So I stopped taking it, but I kept it all this time. And 2 years later, it shows a radiation signature here on the scanner. So I believe that this might have something to do with injury to my digestive system or metabolomics, which is what researcher Alexander Raskin does and works with at the Kellogg's Eye Institute. So he may have somehow gotten to this and irradiated this, and so it's somehow, maybe paramount, or central to all the symptoms that I've experienced here in Ann Arbor, Michigan, but certainly not the only. I think all of what I've experienced after living with Alexander Raskin, from unscrupulous medical students working at the emergency room at the University of Michigan Hospital to students all around campus, and then various paid residents here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. It's all meant to cover up what Alexander Raskin did to me, and or his younger son, who's a student here at the University of Michigan, Greg Raskin. And it's just constantly gotten out of control, and being that I'm black and I'm poor and indigent, it's like, well, let's do what we can to try to cover up, this respectable, well, not respectable really, right, but this scientist associated with University of Michigan, because, this poor African American, is not considered as valuable as, the unscrupulous, harmful research practice and interest of this Alexander Raskin, PhD, with the metabolomics core of the Kellogg's Eye Institute at University of Michigan. So this is some toothpaste. Well, first of all, this is an ink pen that I had for a long time. People kept warning me about that, tapping, ink. Apparently, having that on me while maybe gamma cameras from the construction workers here on campus at U of M may have been using those against me or something, again, to try to intimidate me or frighten me. The ink can drew that kind of radiation, direct targeted use radiation, and so ink can be irradiated in that way. This is toothpaste that I got from the Purple House shelter. It's called Jimmy Hill House. It's an alternative community-based shelter to that of the Atlanta Shelter Center. And so I got this toothpaste from them. I was suspicious about it at first because it, I tend to read the ingredients and stuff to try to be sensitive to the harms, that I'm experiencing on a daily basis here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And I noticed that it had titanium dioxide, and I think that's somehow significant in drawing and sustaining excessive and hazardous amounts of radiation. So right there is the tube of the toothpaste unopened. That's the foil seal on the top, and then I opened that, and then this is a smearing of a dab of the toothpaste on the scanner, the flatbed scanner at the library downtown Ann Arbor, Michigan. So, this is just my interpretation that we're seeing a radiation signature from a flatbed commercial scanner. Scientists would be able to confirm that better. mm, 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 mm. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Are we at 8 maybe, or are we at 9? I'm just not 100% today. Okay, so all of a sudden I'm not 100% for some strange reason, but mm, 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 mm. So these are documents that I've held onto. They're pertaining to this legal case brought against me, this criminal case in which I took a plea. I was forced to take a plea because the judge violated my civil liberties and acted hostile towards me in court, as well as the assigned public defender, Laura Dudley, of the Washtenaw County Public Defender's Office. And so in realizing that I wasn't going to see justice in this circumstance, I decided to take the plea. They tried to have me, they had me reevaluated for mental illness, incapacitation, to determine my competency to stand trial a second time. This time, this doctor found me competent to stand trial. She confirmed my intelligence, as well as a number of other things. But as you can see, in using the same flatbed scanner, there's a strange background signature on the white page that you normally wouldn't see on a flatbed scanner that you would use to make a copy. And so I believe that these papers have drawn radiation, directed radiation, and sustained it, and that's what you're seeing there with the scattered blue imprint in the background. It's taken me 3 years to figure all this out. In 3 years of enduring this type of abuse and poison and irradiation and all that, and because I won't let it go, to avoid making the university look bad. They won't stop. They're relentless. I guess they're hoping that they're either gonna make me sick enough to where I die sooner than later, and then continue to hack my accounts and remove all this proof as they've done up until recently, while I was in jail even, a few weeks ago. By any means necessary, they're trying to suppress this criminal proof, or proof of their criminal conduct. But it's become something bigger than me now, because I realize to what extent the broad community is also in harm's way, and people don't seem to understand. They don't understand how radiation works, how that you can't feel most of it. If it's something stronger than ultraviolet, or if it's something stronger than microwave or infrared, such as ultraviolet and gamma radiation from gamma cameras and whatever else, X-rays, you can't feel that stuff. But and so I think that people here in Ann Arbor have seen my videos, and they're confused, and they're more inclined to think that I'm delusional and suffer from mental illness, as I've been mischaracterized by the University of Michigan Hospital, because they want a false sense of security in knowing that they're not really exposed to any harm, when really Ann Arbor Police and the University of Michigan Police, and maybe even the Washtenaw County Sheriff's, in fact, Washtenaw County Sheriff's, as well as Pittsfield Township Police, they've been relentless and ruthless at getting to me and taking any opportunity they can to harm me with harmful radiation, even while other people are around me, thereby exposing other people, even for that matter, because the stakes are too high of the proof that I have to bear, that could lead to them going to prison, and so that's why I've endured as much as I have. I don't know if that was all the emails, but I don't know, but probably not. But I'm going to end it there for now, because I don't want the video to be too big to where I can't